Hi, it's Anna. I hope you're doing well today. Recently, a friend of mine asked me a really great question. She said, what does it mean when you say you practice something? Like you're practicing letting go of expectations, you're practicing non judgment, you're practicing getting rid of limiting beliefs. What does that mean to practice? And I thought, wow, that's a really great question because I've been doing this so long now that I just take it for granted. I use that word frequently because I just practice. I've been practicing. But there was a time when I had no idea what the heck people were talking about when they said, I'm practicing, I do this practice. And I thought exactly the same as hers. Like, what does that mean? What are they doing? So, what it means to practice something, especially when you're talking about your self evolvement, your spiritual development, and is when you're practicing something, you are bringing a level of awareness to a belief system you've held for a long time, to a habit, to thought patterns, to reactions that you have for all different kinds of things. Maybe you are wanting to get rid of um, the practice of expectations, right? Like having these expectations about how situations should go, how people should behave, how you should behave yourself. Um, and the practice is bringing an awareness. So when a situation or a circumstance arises where you have an expectation about how some things should go and it doesn't turn out that way, or someone doesn't respond the way you expected them to do or to respond, or something for them to do, and you start feeling that feeling of like irritation, frustration, disappointment, sad, because you're holding on tight to this expectation, right? You now have this awareness because you've said to yourself, like, okay, I want to practice getting rid of this icky, sticky stuff that's inside of me that is preventing me from being truly connected to my inner being and preventing me from living a joyful life. So I'm practicing getting rid of this. So in this scenario, right, the practice is awareness. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to be aware of that. So here comes a situation. Guess what? Here's an opportunity to practice. So now I have an awareness like, oh, wait a minute. Okay. I don't want to have these expectations anymore about this. And so I'm going to choose to shift my thoughts, my feelings, my behavior. Sounds really simple, right? But can be super duper hard. And I'll give an example on the expectation one specifically, and I'll talk about some of the things in a minute. Is I used to have these expectations when we'd go out with our kids on an outing or something, and I just expected like it was going to be a certain way. I guess I didn't even really think about all the details about how it was going to be. It was just had this like expectation that we're going to go and we're going to have all this great fun and everyone's going to participate and everyone's going to be, enjoying this and well, life has given us many opportunities, especially myself, to practice letting go of these expectations and then just embracing the moment and meeting people where they are. And in the past, maybe we'd go somewhere and one of the kids would just act up, be really difficult, plop on the ground, not want to participate. And in the past, I'd start getting like frustrated, I'd be pissed off, I'd be like, come on, this is like ruining our time. And right. So a lot of that stuff was going on internally. And then sometimes I'd be saying those things like, what's going on here? Right now, as I've practiced, I've brought this awareness to having these expectations. I've really learned to let go of that and to be able to just be in the moment and enjoy however the circumstance, the outing unfolds. So now when we go out and we have an outing with the family, I just enjoy it. And I'm like, all right, you know what? We're going to go. We're going to have a great time. If this kid or that kid doesn't want to participate, all right, whatever. We're just going to enjoy the day. We're going to enjoy where we are. I'm going to chill out, be like, hey, to my husband, you take those other two over there. I'll hang out with this one kid here, or we're going to go do this right now, and yeah, whatever. My expectation is only to go and have a good time. That's just one example. So that's the practice, right? I've brought awareness, because this is something that I've wanted to work on in myself, and universe loves to give us opportunities to truly tune into our inner being, right? Because they are always wanting us to be connected with our true selves, our essence, our love. And maybe there are limiting beliefs that you have within yourself. I know something that people often do is they have this self-deprecating kind of behavior. Someone pays you a compliment, right? Hey, you look really nice today. You might say, "Oh, no, oh, it's just, it's the outfit I'm wearing, it's my hair, it's my whatever," and you just totally poo-poo that. Oh, yeah, whatever. Instead of saying, "Hey, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it." Well, that's kind of self-deprecating, right? Someone might say, "Hey, man, you are such a good, I don't know, writer. You're such a good designer. You're an amazing athlete. You're so good at this." "Oh, yeah, it's just something that I do. Oh, it's just really nothing." Well, you know what? It's actually really something. And learning to accept those compliments is a practice. Learning to bring an awareness to those circumstances is really important, right? And to be able to say, hey, thanks. I appreciate you saying that. You know, I work really hard at this, or it's just something that comes natural and I just really love it. But that's the practice. The practice is bringing the awareness to different things that you find that you're doing to yourself that prevents you from truly being connected with your heart center, your inner being. And it traps you and it prevents you from living a life filled with joy. And as you practice these things, keep in mind a few things. One is that most likely you've spent a lot of time, many years, building these habits, these belief systems, these behaviors, and oftentimes they're like a knee-jerk behavior, right? Because you've practiced that for a long time and it's deeply rooted in you. So be patient and know that it is going to take some time to practice changing and shifting away from where you used to be to where you want to be. And when the universe serves up an opportunity for you and you're in a situation and you respond in the way you used to respond in a way you don't want to respond, and maybe you say something that you really don't want to say, or you react in a way that you didn't want to react, and you are out of sync with where you want to be and your practice, right? Then again, the practice is boom, I recognize it, and you recognize it earlier than you would have in the past, and so now you recognize it and you say, okay, oh man, that's not what I want to do. That's not how I wanted to respond, and you recognize it and you say, okay, I'm going to forgive myself, and I'm going to do better next time. And I'm going to ask for forgiveness from somebody else if there was somebody else involved in that situation where you said something or did something that you found to be not really very nice and harmful to that person. Just could have been like a sharp word or your energy or something you said to them. It's not necessarily a physical thing, but so you can just ask for their forgiveness, ask for forgiveness of yourself, and say, okay, I'm gonna do better. And before you know it, the universe will serve up more opportunities, and you will recognize that you react very differently, that your belief system has shifted, that your thought patterns have shifted, that you don't have that knee-jerk reaction anymore, that you can kind of step back and look at a situation and you respond very differently and you feel more joyful. And you know what? Celebrate that. And one last thought on this is another great point the same friend brought up in our conversation, and it's something I also had experienced, is my deep desire to want to get rid of so much of this gunk that's inside of me that's built up over all these years. And my desire was like, I just want it to be like gone, all of it gone now, right? And that's just not going to happen. And also, don't get overwhelmed with all these things that you want to practice and shift and change within yourself, right? Don't get overwhelmed with them. Just note the things that you want to change. And as they come up, just bring an awareness. And that is your practice. And your practice is very big. You know, there's a lot of things that every single human being has inside of them that is blocking them, that is preventing them from living a truly fulfilled, joyful life. So as things come up in your life, bring an awareness to them. If you find yourself responding a certain way and that feels really yucky and isn't good and it's not serving you or other people, and you say to yourself, you know what? I don't want to do that anymore. So now you have an awareness and you bring awareness to these different things. And don't become overwhelmed and shut down and frustrated. Just know you're human, you're beautiful, you were brought here for an amazing purpose and reason. You're unique and you have so much to offer, and be kind to yourself. So many of these belief systems that we have are very limiting and detrimental to ourselves and of course to others too, but definitely to ourselves. So be kind with yourself. Be patient. Again, remember the universe's time frame is very different from our time frame. And their concept of time is so different from our concept of time. So just practice. And when you falter and you say, okay, wasn't so good, forgive yourself, breathe, dust yourself off, try again. And again, you will get many, many opportunities to demonstrate your success and your progress. So that is what practice is. It's bringing in awareness to the things that you want to shift and change, your behaviors, your thoughts, your reactions, your limiting belief system, things that are like deeply rooted in you. So bringing that awareness and just practicing shifting every time the universe gives you an opportunity to change. So that's it for today. And as always, I'm here to remind you that you are light, love, and magic. I love you so much.